What happens when someone sues a 5-year-old in court? My neighbor, Mr. Henderson, actually took my daughter to small claims court for $500 in damages after she drew a rainbow on his fence with permanent markers, and the judge spent 20 minutes trying to explain contract law to a kindergartner who kept asking if she could use the bathroom and whether the judge was a princess. This happened last summer when my daughter Emma was going through her artistic phase and decided every surface was her canvas for creative expression. Henderson had always been the grumpy neighbor who yelled at kids for walking on his grass or playing too loudly in their own yards. Emma had drawn a beautiful rainbow with flowers on his white fence using her new set of permanent markers she'd gotten for her birthday. Henderson stormed over demanding we pay $500 to repaint his entire fence, claiming the markers had permanently damaged his property value. When we offered to try cleaning it or repainting just that section ourselves, Henderson refused and said he was taking us to court for damages. I assumed he meant he'd sue me as Emma's parent, but Henderson actually filed the lawsuit against Emma herself, listing her full name as the defendant. The court clerk tried to explain that you can't really sue a 5-year-old directly, but Henderson insisted on proceeding with his case against her. The day of court arrived, and Emma wore her best dress because I told her we were going to see a judge, and she thought that meant royalty. Henderson showed up with a folder full of photos and estimates, treating this like a major legal battle against a kindergartner with criminal intent. When the judge called Emma Rodriguez versus Mr. Henderson, Emma raised her hand enthusiastically and said, "Present," like it was school attendance time. The judge looked confused and asked Henderson to explain why he was suing a child directly instead of her parents or guardians. Henderson launched into a speech about teaching kids accountability and property rights, while Emma colored quietly in a coloring book beside me. Halfway through Henderson's presentation, Emma interrupted to ask the judge, "Are you a princess? You have a pretty dress and a crown on your head." The judge smiled and explained she was a judge, not a princess, but thanked Emma for the compliment about her robes and gavel. Henderson tried to continue his argument, but Emma kept asking questions like, "Can I use the bathroom?" and "When is snack time in this place?" The judge finally asked Emma if she knew why she was there, and Emma said, "I drew a rainbow. Rainbows are happy and make people smile." Henderson demanded Emma apologize and promise to pay damages, but Emma just offered to draw him a rainbow too, to make him happy like me. The judge asked Emma to show her the drawing she'd made, and Emma proudly described every color and flower in detail, with artistic enthusiasm. "It sounds beautiful," the judge said. "Did you know you were drawing on someone else's fence when you made your rainbow?" Emma looked confused and said, "I thought fences were for everyone to look at and make pretty, like the park." The judge dismissed the case and told Henderson that suing kindergartners was not an appropriate use of the court system or taxpayer resources. Henderson had to pay court fees and looked embarrassed as Emma offered to shake his hand and be friends on the way out. The local newspaper picked up the story and ran it with the headline, "Man Loses Legal Battle to Kindergartner," making Henderson a neighborhood laughingstock. Sometimes the most ridiculous lawsuits defeat themselves through pure absurdity and the innocence of children who don't understand adult pettiness yet.